Hi, fellow traders. I hope everybody had a great money making Monday. That's what we have to call it because on starting Friday and on the weekends, that's when we typically spend our money. So on Monday, we got to make it back. So we call it Money Making Monday. So I hope you guys had a great day. It's been a very miserable day over here. It's rained all day long. It's chilly. It's just nasty. And I'm sick. I mean, my allergy has not let go. Well, it's a sinus infection. And normally I can just get rid of it on its own. But this time I just couldn't do it. This weather's just nasty, so it doesn't make me feel any better. But got to look forward to it tomorrow as well. But the seat right here in front of my platform is hot. It stays hot now because it keeps me on my toes and it keeps me from doing stupid things. Now, if you look at this picture I got, this is was me a couple years ago. My son took a picture of me. I used to do this every day. Every day around lunchtime. Well, after lunch, I eat lunch, come back and sit. Nothing going on. I just sleep. And I could sleep for like 2 hours or so. And what I realized is every day I wake up, I'm in the same spot. I wasn't making any progress. I was making money. I was trading the open good, but I was just sitting there. And you don't want to just sit there and continue to waste time. You can't. If you're in the same spot that you were in last year, if you're doing the same thing, even if you're making money, you should be looking to get better. You should be looking to grow. It doesn't matter if you've been doing this 2 years, 20 years, 40 years. You can't look at yourself a year from now and be in the same spot. These guys that make money, that are very successful, they're not there. They're billionaires that they're not in the same spot they were in last year because they're not sitting back resting on their money. They're continuing to make it grow. And so we have to be the same way. So if you're in the same spot you were in last year, if you're still struggling with your trading and you still can't get consistent and you can't put your finger on it, you don't know why the dots aren't being dotted and the T's aren't being crossed. Why can't you put it all together? You got to spend your time wisely. You have to get sick, and you got to get tired of it. E.T., or I call him E.T., or you may know him as E.T. the hip hop preacher, or Eric Thomas. He's a very dynamic motivational speaker, and his Thank God It's Monday message he sent out last night, it just kind of hit the nail on the head. That you only transition from level to level when you're tired of being at the level that you're on. And for me, you just got to be sick and tired. And if you're still in the same spot, you can't blame anybody but you. If you're still following the same person and you can't get anywhere, you can't blame anybody but you. You can't blame that person. If you've been following me for the last year and you still can't get out your own way, it's not my fault. You got to get sick and tired, and you got to figure out what change do you need to make. Do you need to follow somebody else? Do you, am I not, our personalities and our trading styles aren't close enough to where you just can't get it figured out. I mean, these are things that you have to figure out for yourself. And, if you know me, I'm a straight shooter. I'm going to tell you just like it is. I'm not going to tell you something just to try to keep you and sell you something. This is about your future. And there's no way I can sleep good at night if I'm keeping you away from, the person that you can be. Just can't do it. So you got to ask yourself, when are you going to be tired? When are you going to be tired of doing the same thing? And I honestly had to ask myself that a couple weeks, after a couple weeks of struggling in that small account, I got sick and tired of not getting anywhere. Every trade I take in my main account, green. I've been green every day. But this account, I got sick and tired of, being in the same spot at the end of the day. Either making a couple of dollars or being red a lot of dollars. And it was frustrating. But I got sick and tired and I made a change. And I shared all of those, the focus with you last week. And, I feel like a new person. Everything is a lot more clearer to me now. And we're making progress. 2 or 3 more days like I had Friday and today, I'll be back green on the month. After 2.5 weeks of struggling, I'll be back green on the month in a matter of a couple days because I got sick and tired of it, and I got off my butt and I figured out what was wrong, and I made the change. So that's what we're gonna have to do, guys. If we're stuck in a rut, that's what we're gonna have to do. All right, so let's take a look at our trade from today. So as I mentioned, last week, I'm going to be more focused, and I'm going to use that scope. And once I line up and get a stock in my sights, I'm going to wait until the perfect opportunity comes. If it never comes, I'm not going to take a shot. We'll get locked and loaded for the next day. Or if I have a stock that was on my watch list that, maybe setting up after lunch, then I'll start scoping it. But, hey, I gotta be that way. I had to be more disciplined and more focused and work on getting profit, because that's what it's all about, making profit. So you can see on this chart, we had a big gap down. Now we didn't get below this level until, right at the open. But, we were gapping down, real nice chart. I had some nice targets here and, good final target, which is a 20. And if you remember all last week, on these gap downs, the 20 was right there. And we were using it for our final target. So I wasn't going to change up now. So it was a real nice setup on going into the morning. So, and I did trade this, I day traded this, and we did the all day hold strategy. All right, so on the day trade, I'm going to wait to the open, and I'm going to be patient, and I'm going to wait for the setup. I'm not going to anticipate like I have been and, messing myself up. I'm going to do it the right way. Will I give up some profit? Yeah, I may give up a little bit. But I'd rather give up a little bit of profit and be profitable than to take a chance and end up getting stopped out and losing money. So here's a 5-minute opening range. The 5-minute opening candle here. This is the opening range low. And here is the pre-market low right here. Now this only really comes into play at the open. And so I marked it because once I got through the opening range low, I needed to get through the pre-market low for this trade to really work. So I was keeping my eye on this. So let the 5-minute candle print. This candle open. I waited for it to close below the 5-minute opening range. I didn't just jump on it when we started to go through it. And in this candle, I waited for it to open, confirm the loss of the 5-minute opening range. I got in just under the body. and had a nice trade down. First target was going to be 53. I got in, I think, at 53.80. My first target was going to be 53. I had it, then I took it off because I was going to manually take it if we just got stuck just above 53. But we ended up getting a flush through. So I have marketed it out here. Got a real nice fill, 52.93. And was looking for 52.50 on the next stop. But we didn't get it here. We kind of turned around and bounced. And, I took it off. And and you guys that were in chat, you heard the exact reason why I took it off. I wasn't looking at my profit. I wasn't looking at money. I was looking at the price action. I still didn't know how much money I had made on this. Didn't know how much I had in the bank. But I noticed the shift in momentum. And when I feel that shift, and I see it on time and sales in level 2, that's what I'm showing you. That's what I'm trying to teach you guys, how to feel that momentum shift. What you're looking for in time and sales in level 2 and the price action on the chart. How to determine when that momentum shift is coming. And so I got out. Now, had I been in larger size, I would have been okay waiting and letting this retest. But we're not in larger size. We're in 100 shares. I can't do that. I can't give back this profit right now. I can take it off and get back in on this rejection. And, this is where I had to leave to go to my appointment. And I told you guys, this is where I would get in. This is the rejection here. Here we went up and we tested it again and we confirmed this rejection. And, it started to work. We had a little bounce here, but never did really test the 9 and move right down to our 52.50 target where it would have been. So this was a nice move. We would have made, added to our total here, but, I had to leave. So, I think some of the guys got it. Now here we had the bounce right back up the VWAP. And so when I got back, this is what I was looking at. And, I was watching it here. We were inching up a little bit. Higher low, squeezing. The 9 was squeezing this up against the 20. A lot of times when you see this, that's when you get a pop. But I didn't think it would be that big of a pop because we got the VWAP right here. And I was going to wait to see if we ran up and tested this again. And if we failed again, then, I felt good about our chances of it coming down. So I waited, got confirmation that we were rolling over. And that's when I got in. And right here, I started noticing the bears and bulls fighting. I wanted no part of this. I gave it a little bit of time to fix itself. But after about 10 or 15 minutes of watching that mess, I was like, I'm going to take the profit I got, because if this thing blows up, now you've seen this a lot of times, all of a sudden you have one 5-minute candle that goes up 75 cents or $1 this time of day coming out of lunch. I wasn't going to be in the middle of that. So I went ahead and locked in the profit here, which was okay. It wasn't like we locked in, 10 cents and stuff. This was a decent, move. But it did eventually, it cracked a little bit, bounced, and then eventually it did crack some more. But, I wasn't mad. I was okay with it. My job is to book profit and grow this account. So another day, another $100 added to the bottom line. Won't be long before we back to where we need to be. I'll be back to break even and then start adding some money to this account. And this is where most people start. Most people, when they start trading, they don't make money right off the bat. and especially in a small account, because it's very difficult. We're trying to make, it's hard to be happy making $100 a day when you have other people posting all of this money. Even me, you know, when you look at my all day holds and I'm posting that, you know, it's hard. So, you know, I understand. I understand 100%. So we're going to try to work through that here. So that was the day trade, 110.29. That's not bad on a $1,500 account. You know, not bad. If you can do this every day, I don't think you complain about it. You will make more than most people in South Carolina make. $500 a week is more than a lot of people in South Carolina make, believe it or not. All right, so this was my all-day hold. You can see we had this huge sell-off candle, but it started too early for me. I wasn't here when it started, and I never got a pullback. Never got a pullback. Never got a pullback. So I wasn't able to really get in this until the open. You know, I had to wait. I had to be smart, and I had to wait to the open. And, you know, got in right under this 54.63 level. And we held this resistance, and we sold off. My first target was going to be 52.50. And remember, this was my second target on my day trade. But this was my first target here. And we got down to 52.50 from 54.22, which was almost a 2-point move. And my next target was going to be the 20-day from the daily. That's what this is coming in. Well, at the time when I got in this trade, the 20 was at 50.85. Well, that was before the open. It was at 50.85. And once it opened and the daily chart adjusted, this got bumped up. So my target was 51.21. We got down here and it looked like we couldn't get anywhere. We kind of traded sideways. You know, this is an hour chart. This is an hour chart. After 3 hours of being here, I was like, you know, I need to take some off because we may not get anywhere. We may just hold this or even bounce. So I did take some off here at 52.17 and just in case. And the next hour we did eventually get down. I thought we would get to my target here, but you can see we recovered and started to bounce, and I got out just before the close. And that's basically what we do with an all-day hold. You know, exactly what we do. The setup, we set it, we let it work, let it hit our targets. At the end of the day, no stress, almost $2,000. Almost $2,000, no stress at all. Because I'm not sitting here watching this all day. I set it, and here's a time where you can go, you can practice. There's no rule that says you can't day trade in a simulator while you're making money. Now imagine getting more screen time, watching charts, learning more price action while you just put money in the bank. That's basically what we're doing. And I mean, I know the streak is going to end. It always does. But every I don't think we had a red day last month either in these all-day holds. But you know, it's the strategy. You know, you got to give it more room. You got to give it time to go against you and come back sometimes. But, you know, they work. So that was that trade today. That was it for me for today. I locked in on one stock, and that was it. We're done. So I'm happy. I'm ready to, get back at it tomorrow. Now, for you guys, I know a couple of you guys emailed me saying you can't see me trade live and all of that. Again, if you can't see my charts in my platform, please message me in chat. Because if you email me after the fact, I can't help you. But I told you I'm going to show you on this video. I'm going to show you just how to navigate the screen share so that you can see my charts. So here is what you'll see when you log in the chat. Over here will be everybody that's in chat. Now I logged out and logged back in, so it threw everybody out. There's always somebody going to sign in for some reason or another well after the market's closed. But this is where you see everybody in chat. This is where the messages are, the announcements I put. And this is going to be screen share. So most of you see this. Now, in order to get to where my platform is so that you can see my entries and exits and what I'm talking about, you're going to have to use, you see the arrow here in this navigational bar? You're going to have to move this navigational bar all the way to the right. And see, now you can see my entries. The time that I entered, the price that I entered. And right here, these are going to be my pending orders. Like my stop order, you'll be able to see what price my stop is at. Or if I have a bid out for profit taking, you'll see what price that's at. So you don't have to ask me. It's right here. You can see it. And then this will be the live order, the open order. The one that tells you how many shares I took. Well, you'll be able to see that up here too. But this will tell you how many shares I'm in, what my average cost is, how much buying power I'm using up. Now, I need to know this because I'm not going to use all my buying power. Because I want to make sure that I have enough to put my bid in for a target or put my stop in. Usually it won't stop you from putting your stop in. But, I want to make sure I have my bids. Now, if you want to see the chart and everything as I'm talking through the trades, you have to scroll down. And here you're going to see the chart. And this is where I'll be explaining what I'm seeing. The level 2 box and time and sales. We're using all of this to determine, to look at the price action and determine, what we need to do, how we need to manage our trade. So everything I'm teaching, everything I'm talking about is going to happen right in here. The 2-minute chart that I'm, verifying the trend and everything that I'm using is right here in this little area. And all you have to do, if you ever want to see, and then here you're going to see the active order. If you want to see what I am, what my bids are and stuff, you can scroll up a little bit. Or you can bring this down. When we're trading, we don't want to see a whole hell of a lot of noise anyway. So we don't want to see what every Tom, Dick, and Harry is typing. They're our family, they're our community members, but sometimes you got to tune them out and do what you got to do. So you can narrow this down to where you only see, what's happening at the moment. We don't have a whole lot of typing in here all the time, only when it gets slow. But here you're able to see everything. I don't use the scans when once I build my watch list and I'm trading. You don't see me looking at these scans unless we have a very, very slow dead day. Then you'll see me look at the reversal scans or the RSI extreme. You know, all of that stuff I'll look at then. But other than that, once I'm locked in, like today, we had AA. I'm not looking at any scans. I'm just looking at I'm looking at the chart. I'm looking at the charts of the stocks I had on my watch list from the morning, which is why, you know, where I told you about, what was that stock that was setting up? CBI. You know, CBI was a stock that we were looking at this morning. It was on the scan. And, you know, I was telling you about that. I typed that in as, you know, make sure you keep an eye on that. Because that one is a lower price stock. And it wasn't one of these that would just blow you out of the water. So I'm not chasing anything. Now I do have the How Day Momo scanner. I'll have the earnings watcher, because, you know, these are just the scans that I'm having for other people, because there are some people in chat that trade small cap penny stocks. They chase the Momo and the movers. You know, that's what they do. Like Box, this is when we saw what Box was doing, and we tried to figure out what the news was. We heard the news, it was a good short. So some of you guys caught that short. I mean, that was beautiful. But, you know, unless I was no trades on the day was dead, you know, then I'd be chasing breaking news. And that's when I would start using this. You know, and these scans just tell me these are earnings that are going to be reported tomorrow. So this lets me know what stocks moved today that's reporting earnings tomorrow. That means they're probably setting up for something. But I'm not watching these all day. I look at these at the end of the day. You know, after everything is done. Here, this is the earnings watcher for the day. So any stocks that I'm looking at that had earnings, you know, like Alaskan Airlines, I was looking at this. You know, ALK. But you know, it's the point is, I don't chase stocks all day. You know, I'm going to be focused. I'm going to have my watch list in the morning. And these scanners are just secondary. You know, they're just what ifs. You know, if my watch list tanks, everything on it tanks and goes to crap, you know, then I'll go move to my scans. Other than that, this is all I'm looking at right here. Right in here. Alright, so I hope that helped you guys out that needed it. If you have any questions, or if you're having trouble navigating, just let me know. But everything is going to be up here. The blue is going to be my small account. This is what we start out with. You know, I've got it with the blue background. This is Sure Trader. And when my Speed Trader or IB comes up, it's going to be in the dark. I've got the dark background. So you can tell the difference between the two charts. Obviously, you'll be able to tell a difference in position size, because I'm trading a lot more size in my other account. But just for quick reference, you know, I got them color coded for you. All right. So you guys have a great night, a great evening, and I will see you guys in the morning.